All Hallows Eve draws ever closer, children. Are you prepared? Welcome to our second Halloween special. Today we shall be counting down the top 5 scariest cryptids. Alright, some of you probably don't even know what that means. A cryptid, or cryptozoological creature, is an animal not yet acknowledged by science, but reported by people, sometimes in a small area, sometimes in large areas. You have creatures like Sasquatch and Loch Ness Monster that fall into this category. Now, for consideration into what goes into this, into what makes the creature so scary, we're looking into what they do, what they look like, and some of their past horrific exploits. Some of these are going to get a little crazy out there. Now, I leave it up to you to determine whether or not you think they exist. I'm not going to make that decision for you, nor will I ever attempt to. A lot of these, I do believe there is some truth to it. But I don't believe that I don't just hear the story and believe it. You can't do that. Otherwise, you're just being ridiculous. You gotta know about this creature before you can even begin to believe if it exists or not. It's a very unique field because generally people are scoffed at. Cryptozoology is not an official field of science. It's what you call a pseudoscience. And to be completely honest, this doesn't surprise me. Scientists like to think they know everything. They don't like being told that they're wrong. So, oftentimes, by believing something crazy like there could be an undiscovered primate in North America, you're going to be laughed at, which is unfortunate. Locals tend to know what's going on better than scientists. Komodo dragon is an example. Locals over in Indonesia have been talking about a large reptile that for generations, and science didn't believe them until they discovered the Komodo dragon. The locals may or may not blow things up proportion. They were saying that this thing breathes fire. Scientists realized, oh, it's just its tongue flicking out. People in Africa were reporting giant ape men. Science laughed, and then they found the gorilla. Locals told for centuries stories of giant squid. Science scoffed until they found the dead bodies washing up on the shores. So, I don't understand why science acts like this when in the past cryptozoological creatures have been proven to be real. But enough with the debates. Let's start with our creatures. Number 5. The Flatwoods Monster. The Flatwoods Monster is described as a reptilian humanoid creature with 3-fingered hands, often encased in a metallic suit of body armor that floats above the ground. 7:15, September 12, 1952, Braxton County, West Virginia. Edward and Freddie May and their friend Tom Hayer were outside playing when something bright crossed the sky. It appeared to land in a farm owned by G. Bailey Fisher. They went and told their mother, Kathleen May. They then, accompanied by Neil Nunley, Ronnie Shaver, and National Guardsman Eugene Lemon, traveled to the farm to investigate. Their dog ran up ahead, but it came back shortly thereafter with its tail between its legs. After they reached the top of the hill, they saw a large pulsating ball of fire 50 feet to their right. They also detected a pungent mist, made their eyes and noses burn. They noticed 2 small lights over to the left of the object, underneath a nearby oak tree. Lemon directed his flashlight towards them, revealing the creature, which was reported to have emitted a shrill hissing noise before gliding towards him, changing direction and then heading off towards the red light. At this point, they fled in panic. They contacted Sheriff Robert Carr and Mr. A. Lee Stewart, co-owner of Braxton Democrat, a local newspaper. Stewart conducted a number of interviews and returned to the site where Lemon and the crew had encountered this creature. There was what he described as a sickening, burnt metallic odor still lingering. Later on, many of the witnesses grew ill and sick, their health having been fine for years, but it changed after that encounter. This supposed alien is not only using what appears to be intergalactic pesticide. One eyewitness even claimed to have encountered the creature while fixing his car. He quickly got back into his vehicle, and the creature touched the hood of its car, burning its handprint into the car's hood. Now that's pretty terrifying. If this creature doesn't fumigate you, don't let it touch you. It will burn you. It burnt metal. Interesting to note is the creature's resemblance to the Scape or Swamp's lizard man. Number 4. El Chupacabra. The first encounter with El Chupacabra was in March 1995 in Puerto Rico. 8 sheep were discovered dead with 3 puncture wounds in the chest area and completely drained of blood. The El Chupacabra is a purely Western phenomena, happening only in the Americas and Canada. Interesting to note is the El Chupacabra's varying descriptions. In North America, it is described as a dog-like creature, but south of the United States-Mexico border, it is always described as a more humanoid alien creature. Now, the reason the El Chupacabra is in this rank is we know it's intentionally attacked people before. Flatwoods Monster, we don't actually know if it's trying to hurt people. The El Chupacabra has attacked people. Rarely, mind you, has attacked people, but it has. Number 3, Sasquatch, Bigfoot, and other ape men. It may strike some people as odd that Sasquatch is only number 3 on this list, when it is the mascot of cryptozoology. The reason is simple. Sasquatch generally avoids people. Usually it sees you before you even know it's around. I've done a separate video on Sasquatch. You can go watch that by clicking on the link. But yeah, Sasquatch is still a terrifying creature. I wouldn't want to meet him in a dark, wooded area at night. Probably not even in the day. Definitely not when I'm by myself. Number 2, the Mothman. The Mothman is often described as a large humanoid creature with wings 10 to 15 feet apart. But its most well-known feature are its gleaming red eyes. Physically, Mothman is a terrifying sight to behold. However, this is only compounded when you learn Mothman can fly faster than your car can drive. Mothman was first sighted in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, terrorizing the town for months at a time. Then, finally, it culminated in the collapse of the Silver Bridge, which killed 49 people. Instantly, people were looking for someone to blame. They found something else instead. Many eyewitnesses claim that they saw the Mothman on the bridge moments before the collapse. Many people have cited this as reason to blame the Mothman for the collapse. Others cite that this creature may have been trying to frighten people off the bridge just before it collapsed. Furthermore, reports of the Mothman were followed by reports of mysterious men in black, questioning anyone in town who claims to have seen or knew someone to have seen the Mothman. People also believe that certain members of the community were killed by these men in black for refusing to be silent about their encounters. Whatever the government's interest in Mothman was, however, it seems to have stopped, along with the initial reports of the Mothman. Mothman sightings have continued across the world, being seen before not just bridge collapses, But some believe, even before the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center. There are supposed photos of this, but I don't really buy the photos, so I didn't put them in here. However, it would not surprise me. As the Mothman returns, you have to wonder, is he a silent guardian or a destroyer? Number 1. The Goatman. For years I scoffed at the idea of a Goatman. Until recently, when I actually started to pay attention to the reports. Goatman is a half-man, half-goat monstrosity, often reported to wield an axe or some other form of bladed weapon. The Goatman is often seen controlling certain parts of the backcountry, be they bridges or hills. The Goatman often will lure people onto these areas, looking for a good fright or the answers to the mystery. However, it ends tragically. Whether these people are found butchered in the woods or never seen again, Goatman claims victims. He and the Flatwoods Monster are the only ones known to have killed people. El Chupacabra and Sasquatch attack people. Sasquatch may have killed people. But we do know that the Goatman hunts and kills people. What drives the Goatman's appetite for blood? Some believe that the Goatman is in fact the devil himself come to Earth to wreak havoc amongst the souls of men. Others believe that this is in fact just an undiscovered creature from an undiscovered branch of life. Indeed, it is not uncommon for tools to be used by creatures, lending credence to this theory. Apes, in particular, use tools for warfare and for survival and hunting. So, whatever the Goatman may be, it does pose a threat to all who wander onto his bridge. Whether or not you believe these stories, the people who experience them do believe that these monsters are out there, and that they will continue to torment mankind. I thank you for joining us for tonight. Do join us next week for our final Halloween special. And remember, stay safe out there.